Wednesday, July the 2nd. Sorry I haven't done a fishing report for a few weeks. We've been really busy with Cross Trail Outfitters. It's fishing and hunting camp. We've had 2 weeks of boys from 11 to 15, and this week is the girls' week. But the lake level is 924 and a half. It's coming down pretty good. Water temperature is 82 to 83 degrees. And ever since they've been steadily moving water, which has been about for 2.5 weeks now, the fishing has really gotten good. I mean, we took out the kids fishing 2 days each week for half a day. I think there was 14 kids, and they caught a record for. They come down here the same time every year, but they had over 600 fish in 2 days, and they had about the same the week prior to that. That's averaging over 20 bass a day per kid for 4 hours. So, the fishing's been pretty incredible. When you find the fish, they're really grouped up. The key depth seems to be about 18 to 25 feet. A lot of main lake points. Some of them are gravel. Some of them are bluff ends. But you can almost just idle around till you see fish or bait or both. A lot of the points, not every point has fish on them. But like I say, when you do find them, there's a bunch there. Now, with the kids, what we were doing, we were fishing drop shots, primarily with night crawlers. And some of the boys that could fish a little bit better, they used plastic worms. And I've been catching them, pretty consistent on drop shot worms. And a lot of the ones I've been using is a missiles. This is a little 4-inch mini worm, mini magic worm is what it's called. And this is a morning dawn, or it's called missile morning, or John's juice. Has been working really well. And some of the fish, even at that depth, you can vertical fish them straight below the boat. But you'll have a little bit better success if you cast to them. Seems like if you stay back off them, that works a little better. One way I've been able to catch a little bit better fish, and for the most part, I'm just using a 1/4 ounce weight on the drop shot. And one other rig, I've been using a 6-inch missile worm. It's an oxbow grape, I think it's called. Yeah, oxbow grape. And I'm rigging it up on a Gamakatsu finesse hook and Texas rigging it. Now this one I can throw into brush piles, and even with the water up like it is right now, still catching fish right at the edge of the bushes. Setting the boat in about 25 foot of water, but this rig will come through the brush a lot better. But if you want to catch numbers of fish, it's kind of working all over the lake. Whether you're down by the dam, Kimberling City area, Shell Knob. I've primarily been up here during the camp. We've been up in the James River because that's where the camp is. But, if you want to catch a lot of fish right now, that's probably the best bait. Now, a lot of them are Kentuckys. We're catching some walleyes mixed in with them and a few largemouths. My better largemouths are coming on this 6-inch worm. And in these same areas, you can also throw a tube or a little jig like a jewel peewee jig, or like a 5-fish finesse jig. Anything that's anywhere from 3/8 to 7/16 ounce, keeping it on the bottom. But it seems like we're getting a lot more bites on the little finesse worm than anything. A couple other things that are working. If you don't want a light line fish, you don't want a finesse fish. This morning we caught several fish on a frog. There hadn't been much of a topwater bite, but it seems like the last 3-4 days we're catching a few more topwater fish out there where we're drop shotting. So I'm keeping like a surge shad, a walking bait, like a Zara spook type bait, or a popping bait handy. If I see some fish surfacing, we'll throw to them. But this morning we started out in the bushes. We didn't do too much flipping, but we did catch some on a walking bait and a frog. This is a Spro flapping frog, and you can work it just like a buzz bait. You can also use like a Zoom honey toad You know, you can get it around the bushes real good. The sawdust doesn't seem to be too bad. The lake is, you know, a lot of the debris is kind of clearing up. There's still some floaters out there, so you need to be careful of them. But also, in them same areas where it's been drop shot, and you can use like a wobble head. Now I'm starting to fish a little bit more offshore structure, but I'm not getting near the bites. It just depends. If I'm out fun fishing, I'll usually get out there on the structure, try like a Carolina rig with a brush hog, a full-size brush hog, or even a baby brush hog, and deep diving crankbait. Caught several fish on a deep diving crankbait today. And you know, it's day to day. Some days they'll chase the crankbait, other days they won't. But when they won't chase the crankbait, I can throw like a, here it is, a Zoom Mag finesse worm on a wobble head. The days that they will bite it, it seems like the 6XD is working about the best for me. And chartreuse, sexy shad, or just a straight sexy shad, it's kind of hard to beat this time of year. But that's a Strike King 6XD that I've been throwing out there. Now I think that bite's going to get a little better. I do believe there's still a lot of fish up in the bushes, but with the water level at 924, you know, it usually gets good, or the bushes get a little easier to flip. The lake comes down about another 4.5 feet. It gets about 919, 920. There's not as much water back in the bushes and in the trees, and what'll happen is the fish that are scattered back in there will start pulling out to the edge of the last bushes that'll have 4 or 5 feet. Right now, a lot of them bushes still got, you know, 8 to 10 feet on them right there at the old shoreline. But as that water drops down, that flipping bite, I believe is going to get a little better. And I don't expect the fish to go real deep until they stop running water. When they're running the water like they are right now, they're moving like 9 to 10,000 cubic feet a second. The lake usually doesn't set up a thermocline. So that even with the water temperature in the mid 80s, the fish aren't as deep as they normally would be because of the current. The thermocline hasn't set up, which is keeping them fish a little bit shallower. Now there's a variety of different baits, you know, that you can catch them on. Little swim baits will work, but day in and day out, that drop shot's been, you know, really hard to beat. And, you know, catching a lot of different types of fish out there. Today I caught a couple fish on a couple walleye on a deep diving crankbait. When we're out there drop shotting, you're apt to catch catfish, especially if you're using live bait. It's hard telling what you'll catch. You know, a lot of walleye have been in that same depth zone right now, in that 18 to 20 feet. That's where the majority of the bait is. So as long as they continue to run water, the bite should stay real strong. And once they slow it down, I think the lake's going to get a thermocline. The fish are going to start getting a little bit, you know, a little bit deeper. Some of the brush piles are starting to come into play now too, as the lake level's dropping. But if you can find a brush pile and 15 to 25 foot right now, you need to fish it. There's several fish in them. You know, you catch them on a football jig. I've even been throwing a 10-inch worm, Texas rigged quite a bit. And that's something I'll usually throw on a Carolina rig as well, is a big worm. But when the water gets warm like this, later in the season, seems like the bigger fish like a bigger bait. So get a chance, you know, get out there, do some fishing while it's good. Till next week, and good luck, good fishing.